What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another Fakers YouTube video. We're back. It is I, JackoFet9, and
James Joe Jam.
yes, sir. And we're back with our Week 5 review and our Week 6 predictions, as we do, as we've been doing. You know how big. Is there anything you'd like to say about this week?
Pain. We'll get into it. I don't want to talk about it.
Fair enough. Well, in my opinion, it was a pretty good week. I don't know about you though. Obviously, I don't think it was a great week for you. That's fine, but it was a good week for me. That's all I'll say.
Without further ado, let's get into the review.
But the first game of the week was the Falcons beating the Bucks 36-30. It was a good game from really both teams. I mean, one of the best primetime games of this year so far. But yeah, the Atlanta Falcons in overtime managed to squeak it out. Kirk Cousins went for like a franchise record 509 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 pick. He was absolutely destroying out there. I mean, Baker was also cooking up. He had like 180 yards, 3 touchdowns. Both teams played really well though, overall. Yeah, I mean, it was a great way to start the week for sure, 36-30. And unfortunately, you got the prediction right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, this is what we expected from the NFC South.
Not the start of the year, but
That's true. I should say, this is what we should expect.
and moving on, we have one of the 2 remaining undefeated teams. We have Sam Darnold and the Minnesota Vikings beating out his former team, the New York Jets. In a solid game, Sam Darnold himself didn't play a great game, but that Vikings defense is one of the best in the league. And that just makes him so dangerous. Aaron Rodgers had 3 interceptions. One of them went for 6. And it's a bad start for the Jets. Even with a down game for Darnold, that defense is serious, and they're going to be a contender because of it.
For sure.
And they're going into a bye week too. 5-0 is crazy.
But the next game was another NFC North opponent getting the victory. It was the Chicago Bears beating on the team which they made the infamous trade, well, maybe the biggest fleece of all time, which was the Carolina Panthers, and they beat them 36-10. Caleb Williams had by far his best game. He was definitely cooking up, he had like 3 touchdowns, 200 yards. He was doing his thing. And for Carolina, well, I mean, this is Carolina. They're not that good. Andy Dalton wasn't really that good. Bryce Young did come into the game at the end of the game, I saw. And he threw a nice ball or 2. But, I mean, it still seems like it's Andy Dalton's team right now. I mean, kind of as it should be. They're definitely performing a lot better. Not this week though, but yeah, it was a good win overall for the Chicago Bears. They go to 3-2 now. In a loaded NFC North, as you kind of brushed on with the Vikings. I mean, every team in that division is kind of insane. But yeah, overall, good win for Chicago. It was some nice development with DJ Moore as well, I thought. And yeah, Caleb Williams is only going to get better and better. I mean, everyone was clowning him early, but he ain't no Bryce Young right now.
Yeah, that's facts, though.
I still believe in Bryce a little bit.
Same. I haven't fully given up. Moving on, we have one of the other games of the week. This was a great game. Another overtime game that looked like it was going to be a tie for most of that overtime. The Ravens beat the Bengals 41-38, and the Bengals moved to 1-4, and their chances go down the drain of making playoffs. It's going to be rough for them to bounce back, but overall, Joe Burrow and Lamar Jackson put on a show. They had 9 combined touchdowns, a lot of yards, a lot of offense by the 2. It was amazing to watch, to be honest. even though I hate both teams, it was just. And then in overtime, Ravens make a blunder, and so the Bengals get a field goal for the win, and then it's a bad hold. Bengals miss the field goal, and then Ravens end up pulling it out somehow. Crazy game, exciting game, and I mean those two QBs are elite. We know that, but what a game by both of them. Crazy battle.
But the next game, you know, you were talking about a crazy finish. This was an interesting one to say the least. I mean, both teams wanted to seem to give each other the win. It was the Texans beating the Bills 23-20. Obviously, you know, Josh Allen and the guys weren't at their best for sure, as they take their second L. CJ Stroud and the Texans were definitely cooking up, 23-20 obviously. But back to Josh Allen, who went 9 completions on 30 attempts, which is just insane. Had only like 130 yards, and I mean that's poor QB performance, poor overall offensive performance from them. You can't be having that, you know, especially back-to-back weeks like what they have been doing. But you know, I brushed on the ending, and I mean, I don't even know what that was from their coach deciding to call 3 deep shots in their own like 5-yard line, on their own 5-yard line, and then giving the Texans the ball back. And I believe the Texans got the game-winning field goal from it.
Yep.
I'm not completely sure if it went into OT.
No.
I mean, yeah, and I mean, the Texans as well had like a first down, I'm pretty sure. All they had to do was run the time off, and they decided to pass the ball, which resulted them to punt and give the Bills a chance, and then the Bills did what I just mentioned and completely blew like everything, and it was just not a good performance by the coach or really anyone. Not a great performance by the Bills. We know what they're capable of, but you gotta, you know, they're losing their way a bit, I feel like, and they've got to get back to what they were at the start of the season.
Yep. The next game is Jacksonville picking up their first win of the season. It's official, no team is going 0-17 this season. As Trevor Lawrence, I thought it was going to be the Broncos once upon a time. Trevor Lawrence puts up maybe his best game of the season. 371 yards. He looked better. It's not the best Trevor Lawrence we've seen, but he's picking it up, it seems, and hopefully they can just keep going, keep picking it up. Tank Bigsby had a great game on the ground, over 100 yards on less than 15 carries. Oh my gosh! And Joe Flacco was cooking as well. Joe Flacco put up over 300 yards. I mean, he might be one of the best backup QBs in the NFL, and maybe he should be their starter.
Maybe, yeah, he should. But I did see the coach said he didn't want to start him.
Which makes sense, I guess. I want to see Flacco on the field, but they're not going to bench him they're not going to bench Richardson for him. But overall, as we both predicted, by the way, the Jaguars get their first win finally, and get that off their backs, and maybe they'll be able to pick up their play a bit more now that they don't have to worry about an 0-17 season.
But yeah, the next game, you know, I told everyone last episode to get hyped, and this is why. 15-10. What a great game from the Dolphins and the Patriots, what they produced. No, but in all seriousness, there really wasn't much to this game at all. I mean, when you score 15 points and win, yeah, it's not going to be much there. But I mean, we scored 10 and 1. But overall, yeah, it just was not a good game from really anybody. Like, yeah, the Patriots are kind of where we expected them. Obviously started the year well, but they haven't really transitioned from that at all, and they've just been kind of poor Dolphins, these are games that they've got to win while they have, because we know what they are when they have Tua, but obviously it's without Tua. That's the problem. And I mean, if they can keep getting wins like this against teams that they need to win against, trash teams, that's for sure the best thing that can happen. And yeah, they get the win. They get the important.
Bring Drake May in as well for the Patriots. You said you liked Jacoby last game. I don't care if you like
Jacoby sucks.
Yeah.
Jacoby sucks.
He's good, but not with zero talent around him.
Well, Drake May will be better.
Drake May can give you some. At least he can, give the fans hope and excite them a little bit. Jacoby, I don't think they're getting excited over Jacoby Brissett throwing 10 checkdowns every quarter. Not even. Their offense is terrible. I just want to see Drake May in. But in the end, it probably doesn't matter. But moving on anyway. Wait, which game's next?
It's your game.
Next we have the Cleveland Browns losing to Washington.
Sorry, can you repeat that? I didn't quite hear you there.
The Ohio team, one of the Ohio teams, losing to the Commanders. Jaden Daniels is him. It's honestly so exciting. It was the same last year with CJ Stroud, but to see a quarterback come in and just be great off the jump, especially when they weren't the #1 overall pick and went second, it's just awesome to watch. I'm going to stay on the Commanders for now. Their offense is incredible early in the season, and it's, a few years ago, Washington was the complete opposite. They had no offense and a good defense, and they just sucked. But they're really switching it to Jaden Daniels is making their offense elite. They're averaging like 400 yards and 30 points over the last couple games. It's awesome. And for the Browns, it's time to rebuild. Okay, maybe not, but it's this season might be over. 1-4 like the Bengals. Deshaun did not look very good. Stefanski also doesn't look very good. It might be time to give up the play calling for Stefanski. It's rough. Our O-line, so it's really bad for Cleveland. I really hope that that Nick Chubb can save them, because their run game as well. Their passing game is terrible, but their run game is even worse somehow, because of the O-line, the running backs suck. Of course, I'd love Ashton Genty, but I just want the Browns to get someone else, a serviceable backup. It doesn't have to be a rookie. Just sign someone that isn't Jerome Ford, please. Or anyone we have. I'm waiting for Nick Chubb at this point. This season's cooked. Anyway, you can move on. I don't want to talk about the Browns.
Alright, well, moving on from that sad sack of an organization, we're going to a much better one, a much more competitive one, and a winning one, which is the Denver Broncos. Don't wow me after that. But yeah, the Denver Broncos beating the Las Vegas Raiders 34-18 in what was their best offensive game probably of the year. I mean, they played really well, obviously. To start the game though, it was looking rough. The first drive for the Raiders, they scored a touchdown, then they kicked a field goal. We managed to kick a field goal, but it was still looking rough. They drove all the way to our goal line, but the best corner in the league had to show up, and honestly, by the time he showed up, and got that pick six for us, it was basically all over. The game was done by the time PS2 got the 100-yard pick six, and the offense just didn't really look back. Bo Nix got a lot more confidence. There was a lot of fire from Bo Nix as well. He was pissed at Sean Payton, which normally is a bad thing, but I think for their relationship it was actually pretty good. And yeah, Bo Nix, talking about it while we're on him, he had a really good game. 200 yards, would have had 3 touchdowns, but 2 touchdowns plus a rushing touchdown, that's a pretty nice day, I think, for a rookie. And all the rookie quarterbacks that are playing right now cooked. They're starting to find their way in the league for sure. Jaden Daniels definitely found his way already, but Caleb Williams and Bo Nix are finding their way in the league for sure. But yeah, back to the winning team. Yeah, we just played really well. Our defense obviously cooked as it's been doing, getting a lot of pressure. Had 3 picks, 2 to PS2 and 1 to Riley Moss, the only like starting white corner in the league. Who's actually fire, by the way. He's an elite corner. Not elite, but he's a great corner for sure. And yeah, I mean, we just keep going. For the Raiders, you know, they had a lot of injuries. Mad Max, he came back and he was doing pretty well overall. But I mean, no Devontae Adams and like their O-line getting injured. Their offense got suffocated eventually. They ran out of steam and yeah, they couldn't really get anything going. And yeah, good win for the Broncos for sure. We got to keep it up though. And I think we definitely can keep it up.
Next up is an upset. Niners always letting down my predictions. The Cardinals pull up an upset win 24-23 in a weird game, and it was weird because the Niners kicker Jake Moody got injured during it, causing some interesting decisions. We saw Mitch Wishnowski, the punter, make a field goal. We saw them go for it on a 4th and 20 plus. It was, oh my gosh! If they have the kicker, if they have Moody, they probably win. But that's rough.
Sure.
James Conner was cooking. Marvin Harrison Jr. on 4th down, 4th and 5, made a big time catch. And overall, Cardinals pulled it out. The Niners probably should have won. I mean, they got to the red zone 6 times and only got 1 touchdown out of it, which is. But I'm sure once, or if CMC ever does come back, that'll pick up with just how unguardable he is in the red zone. The Niners aren't looking great though, but good win for the Cardinals. You know, just another win for the young team.
But yeah, the next game, kind of another young team, which was the Packers, beating up, well, I shouldn't say beating up, managing to outperform the Los Angeles Rams, the LA Rams, 25-19. I mean, this was a rough one for the start of the game for the Packers. I said that really weird, but I mean, it was not really looking good. I think Jordan Love, he threw a pick 6, and overall through like 3 quarters, I feel like they weren't really doing well. First half of the game, they weren't as critical as they probably should have been. But in the second half, you know, Tucker Kraft and those guys, Josh Jacobs, you know, they really picked it up for them. And overall, yeah, it was a good win for the Packers. Finally, Jordan Love gets a win on the year. But yeah, obviously not the best game or anything like that from really anyone, but they did good, and also the Rams, obviously, they did pretty well overall. For how much talent and how much injury they have. I mean, those injuries are just killer. They just can't take a break right now with injuries, it appears. They're still playing really competitive and really well. But obviously, falling to 1-4 is not a good start for any team. And yeah, you know, it might be time for the Rams to try and actually use draft picks and try and rebuild their roster a little bit. Not saying that the season is over or anything, but with these injuries, it's not looking great. But yeah, good win for the Packers as they move to 3-2 as well. And what I said before was a really nice NFC North team, or North, I should say NFC North.
Next up is the New York Giants, upsetting the Seattle Seahawks, 29-20. The Seahawks, man, it's early in the season, but they do not look like a legit team. They're 3-2, but they haven't been a legit team yet. The one legit team that they did play, they got smoked by, which was the Lions. And then now they're losing to the Giants. It's rough in Seattle. It was a close game though. Ended in a blocked field goal, I believe by Isaiah Simmons, taken to the crib by the Giants, and that summed it up for the Seahawks. 6th round pick for the Giants, the running back Tyrone Tracy Jr. I don't even know who this guy was. Put up 18 carries, 129 rushing yards.
Damn.
Great game for him. Daniel Jones was solid again. You know, he's most games this season he's been solid. You won't see the media admit it. Definitely not worth all the money they're paying him, but yeah,
Sounds
solid
like
for.
a shock.
No, Deshaun sucks. But also the team sucks around him.
But now to the next game, which, you
Come
know,
on.
oh my god. Oh, what? Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Anyways, the last game for the Sunday slate was the Pittsburgh Steelers taking on the Dallas Cowboys. You know, the weather delayed the game by like an hour or two, which caused the game to end at like 1 in the morning, which is just, that must be rough for NFL fans, especially Pittsburgh fans. But I mean, overall, good enough game by the Dallas Cowboys. They played good enough. They didn't play amazingly. And honestly, they haven't been playing amazingly, but their talent has done enough to win games for sure. And I mean, I think everybody expected it to be a close game, especially with that Pittsburgh defense. Oh my god. Oh my god.
You finish.
What do you mean by I didn't?
I was wowing him. I was gonna say what a say, but I didn't.
Yeah, it was late. But yeah, I mean, Justin Fields, he did it alright, but definitely not his strongest game. I mean, that Dallas defense is also elite. Najee Harris and him cooking up. But you know, one of the bigger news, or one of the biggest piece of news out of the game was for sure, you know, where will George Pickens go? He clearly doesn't want to be there. And I think that, you know, no, I don't. But I don't think that he'll obviously be traded or anything. But he did not look very happy to be there. Maybe because it was like 12 a.m. But you know, he was not very happy. He was not running routes properly. He was getting pissed right at the end of the game. And I mean, obviously, I'm sure it'll be nothing, but who knows, you know. If I was the coach, I'd suspend him. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, he did
Yeah.
like throw a punch at
He
the
did.
end of the game or something.
Yeah.
I saw it. I'm like, oh my god,
He grabbed the face mask.
that's crazy.
But yeah, overall, getting back to that, actually something I should mention as well is the use of CeeDee Lamb. I don't know if you've seen anything from it, but in like the first quarter and second quarter, in the first quarter he's used like the most, and then the second quarter he's not really used as much. And by the fourth quarter this year, he hasn't, I don't think he's, but by the fourth quarter this year, I don't think in any games he has even got a reception. I mean 5 receptions, 62 yards isn't bad. You know, as shown by the man Jalen Tolbert, though. The game-winning touchdown, by the way. Definitely him. After getting hit in the nuts.
The second game of Monday, technically. But Monday Night Football sees the Chiefs being the second team to finish undefeated through 5 weeks. And they're going into the bye just like the Vikings. So, in this game, it wasn't perfect by the Chiefs, but they got it done. We saw Kelsey get involved a bit more. But without Rashee Rice, it turns out that, you know, the true second option isn't Kelsey. It isn't Worthy. It's Juju Smith-Schuster, who hasn't done like anything this whole year. Puts up 7 catches, 130 yards, and just looks kind of similar to how he did back in 2018. Derek Carr got injured in this game as well, an oblique injury. Hopefully he doesn't miss very long for the Saints, because they've started off overall pretty well this season. I was not expecting Juju of all people to pop off. That's out of nowhere. If he can keep putting up solid performances, though, they're going to need it without Rashee Rice, because what they're saying, what I've heard, is that the injury isn't as bad as, you know, once thought, but it's still potentially a season ending for Rashee Rice. So we'll have to wait and see how that goes. But a good win for the Chiefs. They just keep pulling out close games. this game also was like the first game they won by multiple scores this season.
Damn,
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
that's that, you know.
Yeah,
Now it's on to predictions, you know.
I'll put how we did in our week 5 predictions on the screen. We both went 10-4. We both kind of know some ball, I guess. Comment down below how you did. I don't know why I'm even saying that.
I mean, to be fair, I did see a guy. He went like 2-14. He went really bad last week.
2-14.
Oh, 2-14. I don't even know
It's
how
in
many.
14 games.
I don't know why.
Yeah,
Right.
right.
Hey, you know, he was counting
The
some
buys
of the
is wins.
prices, some of the buys. Yeah.
Each buy was half a win.
he wasn't very smart.
I don't think we've got a single comment on the video.
No, this is us.
That's crazy. Ah! Oh, by the way, we're on cages, so we didn't just suddenly get good. I don't know if we mentioned that we're getting on cages. Starting the predictions for week 6. Can we cook again? The number 1 game of the week. The first game, Thursday Night Football in today, is the San Francisco 49ers at Seattle. 2 teams coming off disappointing losses. And I have San Francisco winning. I hate that I'm picking them every week. But Seattle just lost to the Giants and they haven't looked very good. And I think San Francisco can get it back together with... They're probably going to... I don't know if Jake Moody's going to be ready for next game. I don't know what the injury is. Or they'll sign a kicker. And I think... I say this every time, but they have so much talent. We haven't really seen it be utilized very well. But they're a great team, and they're going to beat the Seattle Seahawks this week.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you. Yeah, Seattle, they definitely ain't them. They aren't riding back this season, that's for sure. Neither are the 49ers, but you know, as a semi-wise man once said, they just got a better team, and that's why I'm picking them to win. Whatever you said that one time. But oh my god, I'm picking San Francisco to go into Seattle, beat Seattle. I mean, it's a divisional matchup though. Anything can happen.
That's true. I think the Niners are gonna win. We say divisional matchup every week. I feel like this game's pretty safe. Like, I just have so much confidence in the Niners that they never, you know.
Yeah, they suck.
Yeah. I've called them the best team in the NFC multiple times.
But the next game, which is in London, or in England, I'm pretty sure, it is the team that should honestly move to London. The Jags taking on the Bears. Caleb Williams' first game in England. And yeah, I mean, obviously, I guess you could say that this is a Jags home game, even though it's actually a Bears home game. But you know, the Bears much more improved, obviously, over the last few weeks. The Jags did get their first win. Maybe they can get something going with Tank Bigsby, Trevor Lawrence, obviously. But I think I have the Bears winning this one. I mean, Caleb Williams is starting to get it going. Those offensive weapons are starting to get it going. And I mean, they could definitely, for sure, make a playoff push. Obviously, it's pretty early to be considering playoffs, but I mean, the Bears, I think that, yeah, they're just a good team. They're gonna be a good team, and we're starting to see that good team develop a bit. Give me Chicago.
I have the Bears
and
as well. You know, I know that the facts say that the Jags are just the best team, you know, in London, in England, but I think the Bears can break that just because, you know, I'm just going off what I've seen this season. The Bears, Caleb Williams in particular, is really starting to heat up. That connection with DJ Moore as well is just getting better. DJ Moore had a big impact last game. He was actually getting the ball. And the Jags had a good game as well, but I mean, the Bears defense is still really good. And I see them being able to slow down the Jags and pull out, a tight one. 23-17. The next game. Oh,
Maryland. Fight. It's Maryland fight.
it is the Washington Commanders going into Baltimore. Two good teams this season. Two fun teams to watch. Two teams with exciting quarterbacks. I don't like that I have to go first for this one. I'm gonna take Baltimore, I think. It could go either way. Both teams have played amazingly this season. But I'm gonna have to go with Baltimore. I think Jane Daniels will have another pretty good game. The Ravens offense the Ravens just played such a good game against the Bengals overall, and I think they can replicate that and start pushing towards the Chiefs and try and win the AFC. I thought they were going to go on a big win streak last episode, and I still believe that that's the case, even with how tight that game was. They just have such a good offense and defense. It's hard to stop and hard to... the Washington are a good team, for sure, but I don't think they have the talent yet. Maybe in 2 years I'll change my mind, but Baltimore just a better team, and I don't see them falling to 500.
Yeah, I do agree with you. I mean, as much as Washington are, the fun team, let's be for all, who have they played that is actually that amazing? Who have they beat, I should say, that is that amazing? The best team, I think, record... I'm not, but the best team with, the best record is, the Giants. I'm sorry, they haven't beat that amazing of teams. They beat the 1 in, 16 Browns. They beat Arizona, who even knows that they're good at. Yeah, that's pretty solid, but they're not amazing. They're about the same. They're definitely a fun, frisky team. But I do think that Lamar and those guys and them boys, I should just say Lamar and the Ravens will definitely cook up. I mean, they're heating up now, they started the season slow, they're really getting going now. I mean, that was their probably best win. Obviously got to fix that defense though, Jaden Daniels could for sure cook it. But yeah, give me the experience, the playoff experience as well of Lamar and Derrick Henry and guys like that to overcome Jaden Daniels. I don't think it'll be a blowout, I think that Jaden Daniels and that offense can keep with Lamar, but I don't think that they can out-monster Lamar, They can't beat Lamar. But the next game after that is the Arizona Cardinals taking on the Green Bay Packers at Lambeau. And I mean, the Cardinals, I kind of just clowned on them a little bit. But, they're maybe finding their way. Who knows at this point, to be honest. They're a young team, like you mentioned earlier in the video. And going into Lambeau to play a tough Packers team, that's just a tough thing to do. And with such a young team, so much youth and so much not known, so much unknownness about this team, I'm going to take the Packers. I think that the Packers can finally start getting on a run. They kind of got that win with Jordan Love. Get Jordan Love back, and they finally get to start playing with him. And yeah, give me the Packers.
I got the Packers as well, by the way. I was hoping you picked the Cardinals for some reason. I want to have some different picks in you, but it's tough, because these games have been just pretty simple games. Tough place to play in Lambeau, and Jordan Love had a solid game. The Packers got it done. And I like the team more than I like the Cardinals. Cardinals will be a good team in a few years for sure. I'm just not sure that they're really going to be pushing for a playoff spot this year, and I think the Packers are, and I think that's the big difference between the two, as I see the Packers pulling it out against the Cardinals.
Hey, they just beat the Super Bowl 49ers without Christian McCaffrey.
The next game is the Houston Texans blowing out the New England Patriots. That is my prediction. It's in New England, and New England stuff. I think that's pretty well known. We've said it every week. There's no way I'm picking the Patriots over the Texans. The Texans are a playoff team this season. They're probably going to win the division. We'll see. But I'd say there's a high chance. And the Patriots suck. They don't have much going for them, to be honest. Kind of crazy to think, a few years ago, they had Mac Jones. They were on top of the world, and then Mac Jones didn't work out. And now they're in the same spot. I want to see Drake May, but they're not going to put him in. I don't think this game. Well, they won't start him. Maybe when they get down 20. The Texans have an easy win here. They're probably going to be stat padding. Because why not? It's the Patriots.
My prediction, the same as you, the Texans, they're probably going to blow out the Patriots, and I expect them to blow out the Patriots as well. The Patriots, they don't got much talent. They got a first-year head coach. Obviously, we kind of expected them to be bad, and, well, yeah, they're being bad. There's not really too much to say about it. My big prediction for the game, though, I think that Drake May comes into the game with 9 minutes and 16 seconds left and throws for 9 completions for 36 yards.
Yeah, I mean, I thought you about to say 100 yards for a second. I'm like, whoa.
No, I said 36. But, if you're ready to move on, I'm for sure ready to move on.
Yeah.
It is yet another NFC South matchup. I feel like we've been getting one like every week. It's been absolute madness in the NFC South. It is the Buccaneers taking on the New Orleans Saints in New Orleans, Louisiana. I personally got the Bucs to get their get back. They played really well in last week's L. Well, yeah, and I mean Derek Carr potentially being injured is definitely not going to help anything. And yeah, I got the Bucs winning it, in a pretty relaxing game. I wouldn't say relaxing, it's a divisional matchup, but yeah, I think that the Bucs can for sure run away with it at the end. Yeah, give me Bucs.
Yeah, I have the Bucs for similar reasons. Derek Carr coming off injury, Baker Mayfield had a good game. The Bucs played a great game, still lost, but yeah, they're a great team, playing some great ball this season. To be honest, the Saints started off amazing the first few weeks. They haven't looked as good recently. Great team, but it's tough to say. And I like the Buccaneers more for sure. Now I'm taking Baker Mayfield in this matchup. That offense.
Fairsies.
Well, I guess the next game is Cleveland taking on the Eagles. I have the Eagles. I'm done.
Fair enough.
The Browns have played terribly. They suck. The coaching, Stefanski, and the offensive coaching sucks. The defense is fine. It's not as good as it was last year. The run game sucks without Nick Chubb and a bad O-line. The O-line sucks at blocking everyone. Doesn't matter which team, they can't block. Deshaun sucks. Please, just cut him at the end of the year. I don't care what their casualty is. I'd want a new quarterback on my team. And the team sucks. The Eagles, on the other hand, are a good team. And for that reason, I'm taking the Eagles. They're a good team.
But yeah. I agree with you, but I will say I feel like Cleveland have been pretty injured, guys like Jared Allen and, Donovan have had to cook up, Oh wait, it's the wrong sport, my fault. I was talking about a real playoff team, no, but in all seriousness, yeah, give me Philly.
Shout out to the Guardians.
Okay.
The playoffs right now.
Yeah, another actual good playoff team. But yeah, the Eagles, they've got a lot of talent. They haven't been that amazing, and they're kind of in the same boat, I think, as the Browns, with the fact that they have a lot of talent and their coach kind of sucks. But, I think that Philly should pull it out, especially in Philadelphia. The next game is, an AFC South matchup between the Tennessee Titans and the Indianapolis Colts. And I don't really. This matchup's kind of just whatever. Give me Colts. They got a pretty decent offense. Well, not offense actually. With Joe Flacco, they got a pretty decent offense, but they got a pretty decent defense. AR-15 is starting, or AR Anthony Richardson is starting, so that is something to note. I still think Joe Flacco is like a better quarterback, but that's not the point. Anthony Richardson is okay. Anthony Richardson starting the Titans. They gotta win against the Dolphins. Maybe they can carry that momentum. It's in Tennessee, but I don't really see them winning.
Do you think it's
anything.
impossible for them to win?
No, and you know why?
Why?
Because you're the only 10 I see.
That's a lot worse. Anyway,
No,
I have Tennessee winning. Just effort. This game could go. It's probably, the favored team would be the Colts here, but I don't know why. I just don't love the Colts. Richardson coming off an injury. Jonathan Taylor might not be back. He's also injured. And some about the Colts, I just don't love the team yet. They're still young though. They're one of the younger teams in the league for sure, with a young quarterback. And I think, these are the type of games that just could go either way. I think the Titans could pull off an upset. Just unexpected. It seems like there's a couple upsets every week. They're just typically at least one like this where it's just out of nowhere. And I think this is the game that's going to happen this week. The Chargers going to Denver to play the Broncos. And in a game where I see the Broncos pulling it out. I was a hater early in the season, but I want to win this prediction.
She still is.
Yeah, maybe I am. But I have to take the Broncos. The Chargers, they just don't look great this year. Herbert, in particular, hasn't looked good. And the Broncos, I've managed to get it done. Bo Nix is really starting to pick it up. And I am taking the Broncos in this one. Where they're just gonna, they've got elite defense. Potentially, you could say, I wouldn't say elite. But they got a good defense, the Broncos.
Like the
Solid
second best
offense.
defense.
I wouldn't say elite. Carried by.
Alright, moving on. You don't get no opinion. You're getting cut off.
Damn.
Alright, so I've had to mute him for this one. I hope he's not talking over me right now. He's gonna stay muted for this whole pick.
And then
But yeah, I've got the Broncos as well. I'm not gonna sit here and be extremely overconfident. The fact is, this is a divisional matchup. I still know we have our limitations offensively, especially. But yeah, I mean, so do the Chargers. Is Justin Herbert good? Who knows? He's had a week off. Normally, I don't like the week off like this early. Like, it would suck. But I mean, when your starting QB's still pretty injured, maybe a week off isn't the worst thing for them. But yeah, their offense isn't really the best. If the Broncos can shut down their run offense, then there's no reason why the Broncos can't win. They don't have the talent, up against our corners, and yeah, give me Bo Nix and then Broncos to beat the Breaks. No, but to beat the Chargers in a cool, 7-point win. Moving on to the next game, it is the Pittsburgh Steelers taking on the Raiders in Las Vegas. And yeah, I mean, obviously not the best game from the Steelers last week. Still played a good Dallas team. And I have the Steelers winning this one. They should win this one. I mean, the Raiders, they aren't bad, but they ain't great either. And obviously, a lot of confidence is drained from them after they just got completely dismantled by a playoff team. No, but by the Broncos. And yeah, I see the Steelers winning this one, as they've been doing all year.
Yeah, the Steelers just find a way every week. And unfortunately, I also am going to have to take the Steelers. Man, they just win games constantly. I don't know how that roster isn't even that good, but they just keep winning games. And the Raiders, I don't know how I feel about them. That was sad. their game against the Broncos. Steelers gonna do it again. Hopefully Fields can have a better performance. He wasn't amazing last week against the Cowboys. I think the Steelers will win.
It's a me or Mario.
It's a
What
me.
cooked?
The Atlanta Falcons playing the Carolina Panthers in Carolina.
What?
Okay, well, the Atlanta Falcons are who I'm picking. I mean, I picked them over the Bucs last week. They got it done. I think they're the best team in their division. As of right now, at least, I strongly believe that. They have a lot of talent on both positions of the ball. Kirk Cousins is coming off one of the best games of his career. The Panthers aren't very good either. I mean, we saw him cook in the first week of the Andy Dalton era, but it wasn't very good last week. And I don't think it's gonna be great this week either against Atlanta. Atlanta are a really good team. The Panthers are gonna be fighting for the #1 overall pick this season.
Yeah, I gotta, agree with you. Atlanta, they're just better, and they might be the best team in the division, as we saw on Thursday night for sure. Andy Dalton, that magic is wearing off. I didn't want that goal. It's Kazis, but that Andy Dalton magic is wearing off a little bit. Well, a lot actually. They're back to Bryce Young, basically. It's not going great for them as we expected. And I expect Atlanta to beat the brakes off of them. I expect Kirk Cousins to throw for a cool, 300 yards, 3 TDs. You know how it is with him. And yeah, big Kirko getting chained up. And they put the chains on the Panthers as they lock them down. And get them. But for the next game, it is probably one of the games of the week. Honestly, this week is lining up to be kind of trash. I'm not even gonna lie. It's the Dallas Cowboys taking on the Detroit Lions. Hopefully, this game doesn't go till 1 a.m. And I mean, in Arlington, give me the Cowboys. Give me the Cowboys. Oh my god, bro. Give me the Cowboys. I just saw that it was in Dallas, and for that reason, I'm picking the Cowboys. But I mean, we all know what Detroit are gonna be like. But hey, I was talking about the bye earlier, and they were one of the teams with the bye, and I think that they could be affected by it. That week of not playing when you're just trying to get in your groove. Could absolutely cook them, I think, and hopefully the Cowboys can finally start getting some wins under the belts. I think that they can for sure. And yeah, give me the Cowboys.
I was gonna pick the Cowboys, but I actually think I want to switch and go the Lions here. It isn't Dallas, and the Cowboys are a great team. The Lions are a great team. I think the bye week in the long run isn't gonna be as good as it would be if it was later, but I think it's gonna be good for this game. They're gonna be fresh, even though most teams are fresh anyway. But they've had an extra week to watch the Cowboys, to study, and they know what's coming. I think they're gonna be ready, and I think they're gonna pull off a win in Dallas. The Cincinnati Bengals at the New York Giants. I'd assume it's gonna be a blowout, but I mean the Giants just beat Seattle, and then Cincinnati are 1-4, so I guess it's good either way. But I think Cincinnati are gonna win. They did just play a great game offensively against the Ravens, against a really good defense. Their defense didn't look very good, but the Ravens have a great offense. I think they're still injured. I think they'll do better against the Giants offense, and I see Cincy pulling it out in probably a blowout.
Yeah, for the 15th million time, I'm gonna have to agree with you. The Giants aren't really they're not really a primetime team. Not that matters too much, but something to note. It's in prime time. Yeah, the Bengals. I mean, they're 1-4, but their offense has been one of the most lethal this year.
How is this
it's
game
getting going.
Who the hell let these two teams play?
Bengal made it prime time. But Yeah, I mean, I've got the Bengals winning in the Bengal Bowl. If you know, you know. If you don't, that's tough. But I got the Bengals winning this one. Joe Burrow gonna cook up. Danny Dimes is gonna probably have a stinker. And I think that this could definitely be a standout game for the Bengals defense. I think that they can finally start getting some consistency. But you just never know with this New York team. They're randomly like elite, you know. 2 upsets, you know. They beat the... Well, I mean, the Browns aren't really an upset, but that's not the point. Your Buffalo Bills taking on my New York Jets.
You better pick your team here.
Fine, I'll pick the Jets in East Rutherford, New Jersey.
I just got given a win.
A-Rod, he's not the same. You know, I thought he was. He's not. The injuries affected him completely. He can't even like play anymore. But they've still got a lot of talent. The Bills, you know, they've been found out. As it turns out, they have no talent at wide receiver. You know, I knew that though because I'm an elite analyst. But
everyone knew that.
no, only me. Clearly not the NFL teams. Clearly not the Jags. But yeah, give me the Jets at home. A-Rod's statement game against Josh Allen. He's gonna show him up, and they're gonna win.
I think you're absolutely crazy for picking the Jets. After the Bills also didn't play great, but Josh Allen, I mean, I rock with him. He's gonna have a bounce back game, and I think the Bills are the better team as of right now. I think the Bills are still gonna win their division, unlike what you said, and yeah, I see them winning this game. And that'll do it for the video. Thank you guys for watching. And don't you have something to say, Jackfit now?
Yeah, we really hope you guys enjoyed. We pour our heart and soul into these every week for you guys. So remember to hit the like button, subscribe, leave a comment, even if the comment's like you guys suck. You know, we take that as a win for sure.
Oh yeah.
Constructive criticism. Yes.
Thanks you guys for watching. See you next week. Put on notifications
Bye
so you see it. Goodbye.
Stop killing me!
Okay, we're cooking, yeah.
Your prediction.
It's because we don't really have much bloopers, many bloopers. Oh, I forgot I haven't even done my prediction for this game. I was about to make
Yeah, I know, I was just like waiting for you.
They finally
like,
get
give me
to
the
start playing with them.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't played with them much, you know. After 2 weeks, they've been begging to play with them, and now they finally get to play with them.
Well, they got to play with them.
Yeah, I know, but like, Malik will the same type of guy to play with, you know.
But they play with him.
Jordan Love is more of a play with the, like, Jordan Love, like, let's be for real. Let's be for real though, like, who would you rather play with right now? You're in a room, and you gotta pick who you're gonna play with. No.